The Off-Road Zone is brought to you by CF Moto. Exceed your expectations. Honda. Yamaha. And by Chaco. Welcome to the Off-Road Zone. On this very busy show, we'll be installing a high-quality sound system to our Polaris RZR 900S during our Project Predator build. Also, we'll be taking you with us to the unveiling of two new vehicles to enter the UTV market, one from Yamaha and one from our friends at Honda. But first, the Maritimes await us. So let's head east to Halifax, Nova Scotia, where CF Moto held a special ride for us. Halifax is the capital of the province of Nova Scotia. It has a population of approximately 415,000 inhabitants. The regional municipality consists of four former municipalities: Halifax, Dartmouth, Bedford, and Halifax County, that were all amalgamated in 1996. The city is considered to be a major economic center in eastern Canada, with a large concentration of government services and private sector companies. Major employers and economic generators include the Department of National Defense, Dalhousie University, the Halifax Shipyard, and various levels of government. Agriculture, fishing, mining, forestry, and natural gas extraction are major resource industries found in the rural areas of the municipality. Interesting fact, Halifax was ranked the fourth best place to live in Canada back in 2012. And placed first on a list of large cities by quality of life, and placed second in a list of large cities of the future. Needless to say, Halifax appears to be a great place to live, and certainly is an amazing place to visit. Yves Gagné, CF Moto Canada District Sales Manager for the Maritimes, tells us the reasons behind our trip to Nova Scotia.
For the simple reason that it's a place where it's fun to ride, and it's a place that a lot of people don't know about the trails and about all the scenics we have here in Nova Scotia. It's one of the best places for riding in ATV or side-by-sides in the Maritimes. The potential is here in Nova Scotia, so I'm assuming that it's going to grow. The clubs are growing slowly but surely. They have a federation, they're working on it all together. So I'm assuming that something's going to happen in a timely manner. We've got a chance to meet Greg. He's the guy who's in charge of the club here locally, and he's involved a little bit with the federation, so he's a good guy to work with. And he's a guy that will help the ATV activity to grow in Nova Scotia, for sure. They have dedicated people loving ATVing and riding, so I'm assuming that in a couple of years from now, it's going to be like way different than it is right now. It's beginning here in Nova Scotia. It's more developed in New Brunswick, as an example. And New Brunswick is smaller than Quebec. It's all a question of experience, but they're going to get it fast here because they have something to look at to make a comparison and to try to repeat what was good and to try not to do what was not good.
Hey guys, what we're going to do, we're going to start here in Kennecook. I think I'll take us down through the railroad tracks and up the trails. We're going to come over here to the Walton Pub and we'll get some dinner first.
That's the pub there?
That's the pub.
All right.
And then we'll leave and we'll backtrack through here, or not backtrack, I guess it is a different trail. We'll come back out down here. I think I'll take us down into Burncoat to the Burncoat Head Park, show you the lighthouse.
Lighthouse, okay.
And then once we're done there, we will loop back up through what we call the Georgefield Loop here, and we'll come back out and back into Kennecook where we start.
Our ride was organized and guided by the folks at the Fundy AT Ventures Club, a happy bunch of people who are very eager to hit the trails with us and show us around. Greg Grant, president of the Fundy AT Ventures Club, talks to us about the ATV situation in Nova Scotia.
I believe the number we have now is there's roughly 35,000 registered ATVs in the province. No one can say for sure how many there are that aren't registered, but it's a very popular hobby, sport, family activity, however it is you choose to view it. Nova Scotia has a lot of nice trails. If you're hooked up and have the right maps, you could go from one end of the province to the other. We have a lot of scenic trails, a lot of nice tourist attractions. I hope I'm able to show you a few of those today, just in our general area. It's Crown land. We have, in this general area and in the whole province, with the ATVers and snowmobilers all have really good relationships worked out with the major forestry companies. We'll be driving on a series of woods roads, some old railroad bed. The rail bed here that we're going to be on, the municipality is actually working on negotiating to buy that to turn it into a multi-use trail that will run from basically the start of East Hants well into West Hants. It'll be a huge connector for going from some really long rides if you want to tour the whole province.
Coming up, we keep on riding towards the historic village of Walton. Stay with us. Yves Gagné, CF Moto Canada District Sales Manager for the Maritimes, talks to us about the new 2016 HO lineup.
This is the new 400 HO, the C-Force, the ATV, available in 4 versions. First, you have a one-seater that you can have like a bare unit. You can have the same machine with the power steering, the winch, the mags, more goodies. It's the LX version, and you can have a 2-seater, also with an entry level, or the LX version with all the goodies. In this case, it's a 2-seater. It's an LX version. From a safety standpoint, we don't have to bother to buy the mirrors. They are stock from the factory. We have LED lights in the front. They're running lights. We have the flashers. We have the 4-way flasher. We have a horn. The winch is there because it's an LX version. There's a 12-volt power point here. A funny thing too, there's 2 USB ports to recharge the cell phones and all these stuff. We have a new dash that's full. Like, you can know everything you need to know, like the RPM, the voltage of the battery, trip odometer, everything. You can run in 2-wheel drive, you can run in 4-wheel drive, and you can run in 4-wheel drive lock to lock the front differential. So it's a real 4x4, not a 3x4 like the others. This one is a 2-seater, so the backrest is there from the factory, and as well as the handlebars. The mags are there because it's an LX, and the winch is there. So it's a fully loaded machine that you don't have to bother about adding something. Even the power steering is there.
Paul Canning talks to us about his own ATV experiences here in Nova Scotia.
I've been driving ATVs for about 10 years. Being in the great outdoors, spending time with family driving them, spending time back in the woods, and do a little bit of hunting and fishing with it as well. So it's a great opportunity to get out on the trails for sure. A lot of land around here in Nova Scotia that's unused land, I guess you say. A lot of good back trails and stuff, and as you guys seen today, a lot of great scenery around as well. So it's a great spot to get out for sure. Perfect ATV getaway. Went away with a bunch of guys away for a weekend, getting some good kilometers on a trail in a day, and back to the camp for a good feed and a few drinks for sure to end the night off.
Here's what Rick McIntyre's Nova Scotia ATV experience looks like.
I was born in Halifax, moved out to the Elmsdale area about 15 years ago, and that's from then is when I really started getting into the ATV in the wilderness. We started off as a boat dealership, and probably last November started selling ATV parts and accessories, and out in this area it really took off fast. Never really thought this fast we would have an ATV line, but a few people approached us on CF Moto recommending it. We did quite a bit of research on it before we decided to do it, and we really liked the product. We contacted CF Moto, and it all went from there, and so far it's really working out. We're really happy with the relationship.
Our ride took us all the way to the historic village of Walton, where the Walton Lighthouse sits majestically. Facing west, it's the last original lighthouse in Hunts County. It was built in 1873 by Timothy Parker at a cost of $620. It was once the brightest light on the Minas Basin in the upper Bay of Fundy. Over the years, it's guided ships into the Walton port, where they loaded cargoes of pulpwood, gypsum, and barite. Walton Harbor was the busiest port in Nova Scotia in the 1950s. Shipping then declined in the 1970s, and the lighthouse was decommissioned. It was purchased by the municipality of East Hants and declared a heritage property in 1992. What an awesome sight to welcome us at the end of our ride. Until the next time we can come out east and ride with our new friends, we hope you will add Nova Scotia as one of the wonderful destinations to discover, off-road style, of course.
We've discovered a lot of things, such as the tides. We've seen a point too where the lighthouse is. We've seen a lot of things that were interesting that you can see only here.
I would highly recommend anybody that's in Nova Scotia to actually take the time to get out into the woods, get on the trails. There's lots of beautiful trails. Nova Scotia is loaded full of lakes, and, lots of good scenery and wildlife. I would highly recommend it.
Come see the beautiful scenery for sure. You can from Cape Breton Highlands to Halifax and the South Shore. We have millions and millions of stuff to see and thousands of kilometers of shoreline to take in, and every trail's a new adventure for sure. Highly recommend, a great place to visit, spend a few days and get some ATV in, and it's a great location.
On the other hand, in closing, I'd like to thank Off-Road Zone and Ken and your crew and the guys from CanMac for putting this all together. It's been a pleasure taking you guys out for a trail ride, and I hope you come back again sometime.
Coming up, we're heading back west for the Yamaha UTV unveiling, and then down south to the USA for the Honda Pioneer event. Stay tuned. The good folks at Yamaha were just about due to come up with something to shake up the UTV industry a little. Did they ever strike gold with their special 60th anniversary edition of their new side-by-side UTV called the YXZ 1000R SE? Its 998cc engine is well complemented by a high-flow intake system, compact and clean exhaust system, and an industry first, a 5-speed sequential transmission. The manual transmission with reverse permits rapid and smooth shifting and is ideally matched to the potent 3-cylinder engine. Aggressive chassis and styling is highlighted by massive suspension components. Front suspension design permits an extremely low hood line for excellent trail visibility. The YXZ 1000R is built for enthusiasts looking for a pure sport machine with the confidence and attitude to tackle any challenge. The YXZ 1000R features instruments inspired by high-performance super motorcycles. Functions include a high-visibility digital speedometer, analog tachometer, and programmable shift light, with digital readouts for 4-wheel drive mode, gear position, fuel level, trip meters, hour meter, coolant temperature warning, and a clock. 4 super bright and long-lasting LED headlight assemblies provide brilliant forward illumination and give the YXZ 1000R a sinister and aggressive sense of style. The YXZ 1000 is available in blue, but originally available in the same yellow that was the original Yamaha color 60 years ago. Whichever color you choose, heads will surely turn when you rip the trails up in this monster. Now let's head to the United States for Honda's Pioneer 1000 launch event.
Well, so I was involved from the very start of the project. I was involved from the planning phase where we sat down and figured out what segment of the side-by-side market we were going to enter into next. And then I was involved in the team that set the performance targets and the cost targets and all of the target SRPs and volumes, and then in my position, I'm with the project all the way through from that beginning phase and then on to actually evaluating the prototypes to make sure that they're on track to meet all the targets we set. And then now I'm here at the Pioneer 1000 press intro, talking about the vehicle and interacting with all the members of the press. We chose a dual clutch transmission, DCT, because it has a lot of really good advantages.
テクノロジーだと DCT の技術っていうのがチャレンジ項目。先ほども答えましたけど、耐久性と信頼性が高いっていうのと、ベルトだと切れない。
It's very responsive. When you give the vehicle a throttle input, you get an almost instantaneous response. It matches the shift points to whether you're driving aggressively or whether you're driving mellow and you just want the vehicle to be nice and smooth and quiet. The Pioneer 1000 is in the flagship multi-purpose category of side-by-sides, and there's a really big demand for the full-size flagship machines that are over 800 cc's with twin-cylinder engines. It's actually, if you look at the way the market's segmented, it's by far the biggest segment of the whole side-by-side industry. As a multi-purpose vehicle, right, it has to have a pretty wide footprint and a lot of different users. So this vehicle, it's a workhorse. It's got a 1,000-pound bed capacity and a 2,000-pound towing capacity. So it can do any work that you need, ranch, construction site, around your property. But in addition to that, being multi-purpose, it's got to wear a lot of hats and do a lot of different things. So we have a 3-person version and a 5-person version. They both use a nice wide bench seat in the front. And then when you have the 5-passenger version, there's actually the Honda quick flip seats that come up out of the bed. You can have 1 seat up or 2 seats up, so you can seat up to 5 people. Both of the vehicles are built on the same chassis platform. Really the main difference is there's an extra roll cage in the back for the rear passengers, and it's a different bed, obviously, because the 5-passenger bed has the seats that come up out of it. Side-by-side customers, they really have a really wide variety of uses, and every customer likes to tailor the machine to their own use. So we have a full lineup of Honda accessories to complement the machine and to allow the customer to tailor it to their uses. So we've got over 70 different accessories that will be in the dealerships at the same time as the vehicle.
Coming up, we're grooving things up by installing a sound system on our Project Predator build right after the break.
Once again, this year we decided to add some tunes to our build. I guess we've been spoiled over the years, even with my personal unit, to how we always have music in our rides. So once again, we turned to SSB Works. SSB Works makes some exceptional sound components. Overhead install, bolt on, super easy. Basically anyone can do it. I think to add both the front and rear components took less than half an hour to do. Simple hookup to the battery and the installation was done. And it's great to have, especially me personally speaking, I love listening to tunes when I ride, and I think SSB Works is the company that does it best. Since we decided to go with a 4-seater because we wanted to make it more of a family outing or family-oriented or friend vehicle, multi-passenger unit, Nice thing about it is that, you know, if a bit like when you're in your car. If you want to keep the kicks quiet in the back, well, you put on some tunes that they like, and, you know, it kind of fixes the job. Sound system is total Bluetooth. So you basically, a simple hookup connection via Bluetooth to your cell phone, your iPod, any media device that's Bluetooth compatible. So you can basically play and control everything out of your pocket when you're riding. The sound that this thing produces is exceptional. It's not only great when you're riding, but it's also great when you stop. A little lunch, lakeside lunch, a little picnic, and you're always having your tunes available with you. I wouldn't ride in a unit. It would be one of the add-ons that I would definitely put onto my machines.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Off-Road Zone. For more information on anything and everything you saw on the show, please visit the following websites and come pay us a visit at offroadzone.tv. The Off-Road Zone was brought to you by CF Moto. Exceed your expectations. Honda. Yamaha. And by Chaco. Until next week, enjoy your riding, keep off the beaten path, and join us again in the Off-Road Zone.